Howard Loomis was abandoned by his mother in 1918 at Father Flanagan's Home for Boys, which had just opened a year ago. As a result of his polio, Howard wore heavy leg braces, and he had trouble walking, especially up and down the stairs. And soon, several of the home's older boys carried Howard up and down the stairs. And one day, Father Flanagan asked Reuben Garner, one of those older boys there, if carrying Howard was hard. And Reuben replied, "He isn't heavy, Father. He is my brother." Are you a mother whose daily task is to care for your children? Or are you a father who works hard to provide for your family? Or a volunteer at a church or a community? That must be a heavy burden. Yet I bet it is made light because you do it for love. Jesus says, "Take my burden, the burden of love. Consider others as your brothers and sisters." They are your brothers and sisters, and they are not as heavy. Jesus spoke about the burdens others put on our shoulders and the burdens we put on our shoulders too. To the rich young man, he said, "Throw away the burden of your wealth from your shoulders." Have you suffered the loss of a loved one? In his youth, Jesus had to weep for Lazarus and had to bury his own father, Joseph. Are you experiencing financial losses? Jesus assumed the obligation of caring for the 12 apostles, even though he had nowhere to lay down his head and was unsure where to get his next meal. Do you need peace because people always demand you and your time? Jesus had crowds of people following him and asking for various favors. Has someone hurt your feelings? Jesus in his passion was betrayed by Judas, denied by Peter, and abandoned by all the others. Weariness or the experience of tiredness or restlessness is part of our human condition. It indicates that we have not attained much physical rest or emotional peace that we all need. And here is something I want to share with you. After an exhausting day, I often plan on having a good sleep, maybe an early sleep. However, there is a feeling in my heart that says, would you not join me in the chapel for a moment? Or then after a few moments of confusion and resistance, I consent and spend a few minutes with Jesus, or most often saying a rosary. Then I go to sleep in peace, and I'm very happy. The following morning, I'm not more tired than usual. However, sometimes it's the other way around. Whenever I have a serious concern, I say to myself, tonight, I want to pray over it. I want to spend some time in the chapel. And when I'm going to the chapel, a voice tells me at the bottom of my heart, you know something? I would rather instead you would go to bed immediately and trust me. Let me look after this problem. I go to sleep in peace, leaving everything in the hands of God. This Advent reminds us of God's burning and passionate longing to come into us and dwell in our hearts in ways we did not expect. And today he wants us to assure us rest and peace of mind. Come to me, all you who labor and are burdened, and I will give you rest. And that is his promise.